Students, now today we are going to start another chapter of class 12th chemistry, that is p block element. Before this chapter we also had principle of isolation of element or processes of isolation of element, but as this chapter is omitted for this session, so we will start with p block elements. First, we will have a little introduction of p block elements. We know that the elements of group 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18 are called to be as p block element. These p block element, they have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 electron in their outermost shell. That's why the general electronic configuration of this one is taken as ns2 np126. Okay, so here the s orbital of these elements are complete, whereas the p orbitals are to be filled by one. So the property of these elements are depend on the electron present in p orbital. So that we already have learnt about the 13th and 14th group of p block element in class 11, but here in this class we have to deal with 15, 16, 17 and 18th group. Okay, so here we also know that the number of elements which are present in these block, means in p block, these may be metal, these may be non-metals, and they also may be metalloid. So p block, it is the only group in which we have all the type of metal present. Okay, so let's go through some of the characteristics of p block element which we are going to discuss. We already know about these things, then also we have to do little to recall it once again. Okay, so first we will start with electronic configuration, that already we have done. What do you mean by electronic configuration? So electronic configuration, it is the arrangement of electron in orbitals, that is called as electronic configuration. So the general electronic configuration of this group is what? That is ns2 np3, if we are talking about the group of 15 only. Okay, but here we are going to talk about whatever the property we are dealing with. These are all about, means here we are talking about the uh, properties of all p block elements. Okay, so first, atomic and ionic radii. Here the size of an atom is expressed in terms of atomic radius or van der Waals radius or covalent radius. That's also you have done in class 11, that the radius of any of the atom is taken by taking the distance from one nucleus to another nucleus. This is the diameter, and by taking the half of this one we will get the radius of different element. If we are taking out the radius of metal, then it is called to be as metallic radius, and for non-metal it is called to be as covalent radius. But here we have few of the elements present in the gaseous form, so the radius of this one is called to be as van der Waals radii. Okay, and ionic radii means what? There are many of the element which can lose electron and gain electron to attain stability. So what will be the radius of this one? So the radius of these type of element which are present in their ionic form are called to be as ionic radii. Okay, so if we are talking about the atomic radii of p block element, it decreases on moving from left to right in a period and increases from top to bottom in a group. Okay, so here the covalent and the ionic radii of p block elements is not given particularly, but if you want, then it is given in the refresher, then you can go through it, or it is not necessary to see the what is the radii, because it will never be asked to calculate the radii. Here only you people have to know that what are the trend to increase or decrease in the atomic radii. So we know whenever we are moving from left to right in a period, here the atomic radii decreases, but on moving from up to down in a group it become increases. Next property of p block element. Students, please listen carefully, that here we are talking about the properties of p block, all the elements which is present in the p block, not only that is 15th group element. Okay, we are talking about all the p block elements. So ionization enthalpy, the ionization enthalpy of p block element increases from left to right in a period and decreases on descending a group. So first you people have to know what you mean by ionization enthalpy. So ionization enthalpy is what? It is the amount of energy which is needed to remove an electron. Okay, so removal of electron will become difficult as the size is going on decreases, because ionization enthalpy is inversely proportional to atomic size. It means if the size is bigger, then the ionization enthalpy is low. But as the size, if we are moving in a period, here the size become decreases, it means the ionization enthalpy increases, because removal of electron will become difficult. Okay, so the if we are seeing the ionization energy of group 13 element, it is found to be smaller than the ionization enthalpy of group 2 element. Okay, means group 13 element, like what are present in group 13, that we have boron, we have aluminum. So according to the trend here, the ionization enthalpy of group 13 element should more than the ionization enthalpy of group 2 element, because in group 2 we have beryllium, we have magnesium, we have calcium. But on comparing, the ionization enthalpy of group 2 is more as compared to the group 13. So why does it happen? So here the reason behind this one is that because the electron in p block element have to remove from the p orbital, which is less penetrating than that of s orbital of the alkaline earth metal. And here when we see the electronic configuration of beryllium, like beryllium, what is the atomic number? 4. So it is 1s2 2s2. It is fully filled, orbital is filled completely. But whenever we are seeing the electronic configuration of elements of group 13, like here we have boron, or here we have aluminum. So when we see the electronic configuration of boron, it is 1s2 2s2 2p1. So it has incomplete configuration, so it would be more difficult whenever we are removing an electron from half filled or fully filled orbital. That's why the ionization enthalpy of second group element is more as compared to the ionization enthalpy of group 13. Okay, next we have to discuss about another property of this group, that is electron gain enthalpy. Electron gain enthalpy increases from left to right when we are moving along a period in p block element, and its value decreases from top to bottom in a particular group. Apart from these, general trend of few exceptions are also observed, like if we are talking about the elements of group 15, they are known to have exceptionally low value of electron gain enthalpy. So first, you people have to know what do you mean by electron gain enthalpy. So electron gain enthalpy is what? It is the energy, amount of energy which is released whenever any of the electron is added into the orbital, okay, into any of the shell. So amount of energy is mostly released at that time. But here whenever we are trying to add any electron into the 15th group element, the here the ionization enthalpy is generally low. So why does it happen? So this is because the extra stability, or because of the presence of exactly half filled orbital in their valence shell. So again here they are having the half filled configuration, or if we are talking about the noble gases, here the electron gain enthalpy of this one is 0, or it is taken as the positive value of electron gain enthalpy. So first we will talk about the nitrogen, why it has the low electron gain enthalpy, because of the half filled orbital. Here whenever we are trying to add electron into the outermost shell of nitrogen, so what has happened, because they are already half filled, so if we are going to add some more electron on that, so it will change its stability, or it will not as half filled or fully filled. That's why I do not allow any more electron to come very easily. That's why here the value of electron gain enthalpy is less. But if we are talking about the noble gases they are already fully filled. So that's why if we need to add any more electron into the noble gases, they do not allow it to enter. So that's why here we have to give some extra energy for the addition. Mostly electron gain enthalpy is what? It is the release of energy. But here in the noble gases we have to give extra energy on that for filling of the electron into the outermost shell. That's why the electron gain enthalpy of noble gases will always be positive or taken as 0. Okay, next property is what? Next property is electronegativity. We know what you mean by electronegativity. Electronegativity, it is the property of an atom in a molecule. Okay, it is the tendency of an atom to pull the shear pair of electron towards itself. So this electronegativity is depends on the size of any of the atom, or it is also depends on the electron needed to complete the valency, or complete the valence shell. Okay, so size, the one which is having the smaller size has the tendency to pull the electron towards itself very easily. That's why fluorine is taken as the highest electronegative element. Okay, and as we people are moving down in a group, here the electronegativity become decreases. Why? Because the size increases, and if the size increases, then the pulling of the electron will become difficult. Okay, so in general, electronegativity increases from left to right along the period and decreases from top to bottom in a group. So after that we have another property, many more property here we are having, that is metallic property, oxidizing and reducing property. But for introduction we have this much, that is sufficient. Now we will talk about the physical properties. So all the elements of this group are polyatomic. Okay, monoatomic means they can exist in single form, but polyatomic it means it can exist in di, tri or any form. Okay, so dinitrogen, it is a diatomic gas, while others are solid. Whatever the elements present in this 15 group, because here we are starting with the 15 groups, so nitrogen is taken as gas, just all the elements present in this group are present in the solid form. Okay, so metallic character, if we are talking about the metallic character, so metallic character decreases along a period and increases in a group. It means whenever we are moving in a period, here the metallic character increases. So why does the metallic character decreases? Because the metallic character means the one which is able to lose their electron easily, and loss of electron is possible only when the size is bigger. But if we are moving in a period, it means size become decreases. That's why metallic character along a period decreases, but in a group it become increases. Okay, so here metallic character increases down the group, because here we are talking only about the nitrogen group. So on moving down in a group, metallic character increases. So nitrogen and phosphorus, they are taken as non-metal. Arsenic and antimony, they are taken as metalloid. Bismuth is taken as metal. This is due to decrease in ionization enthalpy and increase in atomic size. Okay, ionization enthalpy is going on decreases as we are moving down. It means bismuth, because of the bigger size of bismuth, it can lose its electron very easily, and it shows the properties of metal. That's why it is taken as metal. Okay, boiling point, if we are talking, so in general increases from top to bottom. As we people are moving down from up to down, here the boiling point increases. But if we are talking about the melting point, it increases up to arsenic and then decreases up to bismuth. Except nitrogen, all the elements show allotropy. So why does it happen? Why it shows this type of trend? Means whenever we are moving from up to down, here first the melting point increases and then it decreases. So it is because bismuth, it is usually having low melting point. The reason for this one is that due to the tendency of bismuth to form three means because they are having plus 5, or they are having 5 electron in their outermost shell. So all the 5 electron has to take part in the reaction, because according to the rule we are knowing that whatever the element present in the outermost shell, they are going to take part in the reaction. But for nitrogen, arsenic, all the element which is present in this group, everywhere all the 5 element is going to take part in the reaction except bismuth, because in case of bismuth only 3 electron is going to take part in the reaction. The 2 electron which is present in s orbital, they do not take part in the reaction because of the inert pair effect. And we already know about the inert pair effect. It is the reluctance of s orbital to take part in the reaction. Here s orbital is not able to take part in the reaction, that is called to be as inert pair effect. So because only 3 electron is going to take part in the reaction, that's why here they are not going to form 5 covalent bond. They have the tendency to make only 3 covalent bond. Okay, because of the inert pair effect, thus there are weak force of attraction between their atoms in solid state. That's why it has low melting point. Okay, this is some different property from that of their group. Now we have to deal with the chemical property. Before dealing with the chemical property, we people should also know that all the elements which is present in the second period, like we have beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, then oxygen and fluorine. Because here we are talking about nitrogen only. Nitrogen, it is also element which is present in the second period. So all the elements of second period, they are going to show some anomalous property from the element of their group. Okay, all the elements of their group, they are showing some different property, but nitrogen is going to show some different property from their group. So what are the reason behind that? This also we have done in previous class, that is in class 11. The reason for the different property of the nitrogen or all the elements of group second, it is because of the small size of the elements. Okay. Second reason, that is high electronegativity. Third, that is high ionization enthalpy. And fourth reason, which is the very important reason, that is because of the absence of d orbital. So these are some reason. Because of these reason only, nitrogen is going to show some anomalous property which are not shown by the elements of their group. Okay. So these are the properties, few property that we had discussed. Now we have to start with the introduction of only nitrogen. Here we will be talking about nitrogen family, then we will talk about the oxygen family, then we have halogen, and then we have noble gas. So first we will start with the nitrogen. Okay, so we know that in nitrogen family we have nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, then bismuth. General electronic configuration of this one we already done, that is it is NS2 NP3. Okay, if we will be talking about the occurrence of this one, so we know that in our atmosphere we have 78% of nitrogen present. In the earth crust it occurs as sodium nitrate and potassium nitrate. It is found in the form of protein in plants and animals. It means these are the occurrence. That is sometime it may be also asked of 1 mark. That's why you people also have to know the occurrence of this one. We can means now we have to do the general property of these elements, means which is present in group 15, that is density we have to do. So when we are talking about the density of the member of this group, so on moving down in a group, density is going on increases as usual. But here we know that density is equal to mass per volume. It means that if the volume is also going on increases, mass is also increases as we are moving down in a group, but volume also increases. So why does the density also increase? Because density is inversely proportional to volume. So here whenever we are seeing the mass and volume both, so there is increase in mass takes place continuously, but whenever we are seeing the volume of the element after arsenic, then we have antimony and bismuth. So when we reach to antimony and bismuth, there is very little increase in the volume takes place due to the means here it do not takes place. There are certain reasons, that is because of the inert pair effect, it do not increase. So that's why mass is continuously increases. That's why the density of this group is going on increases on moving down in a group. Okay. Now after that we have done atomic radii, we also have done ionization and enthalpy. Then we have to do what we have to do, the oxidation state. What do you mean by oxidation state? We know that all the element of this group have 5 electron in their valence shell, isn't it? So these elements require 3 more electron to attain noble gas configuration. So they can gain 3 electron, and for gaining 3 electron large amount of energy is needed. Then also it takes place, or nitro only with nitrogen, it is because the size of the nitrogen is very small, and nitrogen is also taken as the most electronegative element of their group. That's why nitrogen can gain electron and it form 3 negative charge. Okay, and it exists in the form of N3 minus ion, and in the compound it can also exist as Mg3N2. Here these are the example we can take, Ca3N2, etc. So the other element of this group form covalent compound in which their oxidation state is -3. Okay, so in addition to -3 oxidation state, the elements of this group also shows +3 or +5 oxidation state. Oxidation state may change, it depends on the type of element to which it combines. But valency, because it has 5 electron in their outermost shell, that's why it shows -3 valency. But if we are talking about the oxidation state, so oxidation state may change, it depends on the element. Okay, if it combine with any element which is more electronegative than nitrogen, then it has to behave as electropositive, and at that time it is going to show positive charge. But if any of the element to which it combine which is less electronegative than this one, so here it behave as electronegative element, and this pull the electron towards itself. Okay, so they cannot form, if we are talking about the nitrogen, they do not have the tendency to form 5 plus ion, okay, due to the large amount of energy required to do so. So the tendency to form M3 plus ions increases on moving down the group due to inert pair effect. Like bismuth and antimony, they mostly form 3 plus ion, they do not form plus 5, because here s orbital is not going to take part in the reaction. That's why the compound which is formed is SbF3. It means if it combined with the fluorine, they are not going to give its all 5 electron, they are going to give its 3 electron, because fluorine is more electronegative. It means fluorine is going to take out the electron which is present in the outermost shell, but it has all the 5 electron in their outermost shell. But we also know that in antimony and bismuth we have inert pair effect. It means here s is not going to take part, so only the electron from the p orbital is taken out. Okay, that's why it form the compound that is SbF3 and BiF3, in which they show plus 3 oxidation state. Okay, so most of the other compound with plus 3 and plus 5 oxidation state of these elements are covalent. Okay, like if we will be talking about the oxidation state of phosphorus in PCl5, so it is plus 5, in PCl3 it is plus 3. So both these compound are covalent. Phosphorus also have the tendency to show plus 1 and plus 4 oxidation state, but it is in oxo acid, that we will discuss later. Okay. Anomalous property also we have discussed. What is anomalous property and what are the reason of anomalous property? So here, because of these certain reason, that is small size, high electronegativity, high ionization enthalpy, and absence of d orbital, they are going to show some unique property to form p pi multiple bond with itself also. Okay, they can form a triple bond, that is called as p pi bond with itself and with other element having small size and high electronegativity like carbon and oxygen. Okay, so heavier element of this group do not form p pi bond, as their atomic orbital are so large and they diffuse that they can't have effective overlapping. So because of the small size only, they have the ability to form this much of bond. Rest other element of this group, they do not have the tendency to form triple bond. Okay, so these are all about the anomalous behavior. We will do some more anomalous property of this one. Like nitrogen, it has unique property. We also have done that it have the ability to form p pi bond with itself, and with the element having the small size and high electronegativity. So the multiple bonding in nitrogen occur because of the small size. Nitrogen form a diatomic molecule as N2. Phosphorus, arsenic, and antimony form tetrahedral molecule in their elemental state with the formula of E4. Okay, so the structure of P4, you can means here we do not have the structure in NCERT book. Everything is not given, but if you people are having um, refresher, then in that you can see the structure of E4. In that, P is linked with one another by 3 bond, not regular multiple bond, by single bonded with one another. Okay, so another factor which affect the chemistry of nitrogen is the absence of d orbital. Okay, so because of the absence of d orbital, it restricts covalency to 4. Nitrogen can't form d p pi bond. Though phosphorus and heavier member of the family do not form p pi multiple bond, multiple bonding of this of the type d p pi can occur in these elements. Okay, so this type of bonding is clear for phosphorus, as in the formation of compound like px2, or we can also take example r3p, or it would be ch3, like this type of example we can take. Okay, so these are all about the anomalous properties of nitrogen. Here we have, after the anomalous property of nitrogen, we have the chemical properties that we have to deal with. Chemical properties, in that chemical property we will see the reaction of nitrogen with hydrogen, then formation of hydride takes place. See, first it react with hydrogen, then it form hydride. Second, it also react with oxygen, then form oxide. Then it react with halogen, because halogen is also more electronegative than this, and then it form chloride or whatever the or halide it may call as, and then it reaction of nitrogen with metal. So first we will start with the reactivity of nitrogen with hydrogen. So the elements of group 15 form hydride with the formula EH3. All these are covalent in nature. The whatever the hydride which is formed after combining with the element of this group, the hydride is like NH3, PH3, ASH3, SBH3, BiH3. NH3 is called to be as ammonia, then phosphine, then arsine, then stibine, then bismuthine. These are the type of hydride which is formed when the elements of group 15 combine with the hydrogen. Okay, so if we will see the structure of hydride, in all these hydride the central atom it assume sp3 hybridization. Okay, forming these three of these hybrid orbital form sigma bond with hydrogen. Sigma bond means single bond. Okay, whereas the fourth hybrid orbital contain lone pair of electron. Just imagine in the center we are having nitrogen, 3 of the bond is connected with hydrogen, that is NH3, and because nitrogen it is having 5 electron in the outermost shell, 3 is busy in making bond with hydrogen but 2 is still empty, so this one is taken as lone pair. So because one lone pair is present above the nitrogen, that's why the two hydrogen which has to form a straight line, it is little bent. Okay, now after that we have reactivity towards oxygen. So here this one is having the tendency to combine with oxygen and then formation of oxide takes place. What type of oxide they are going to form? It form E2O3 or E2O5 type of oxide. The oxides in the higher oxidation state of the element is more acidic than that of lower oxidation state. Okay, their acidic character decrease down the group, because we know that as we are moving down in a group, metallic character increases, or if we are forming making metallic oxides, so metallic oxides are basic in nature. The element which are present above, they are non-metal, so non-metal form acidic oxide and metal form basic oxide. Okay, now we have reactivity towards halogen. So all the elements of group 15, they have the ability to combine with the halide and form trihalide or pentahalide of the type EX3 and EX5. We know X represent halogen. So nitrogen does not form pentahalide. Nitrogen do not have the tendency to form pentahalide. That's why nitrogen only form EX3 type of compound. Why does it happen? Because we know that nitrogen, it do not have d orbital. That's why it cannot expand itself. Okay, so pentahalides are more covalent than trihalide, and all the trihalide of these group except those of nitrogen are stable. So in case of nitrogen, only NF3 is known to be stable. Trihalide except BiF3 are clear covalent in character. Now after the reaction with halogen, we have the reactivity of nitrogen or element of this group with metal. So all the element react with metal to form binary compound having -3 oxidation state, because we know nitrogen is more reactive or electronegative than the metal, or because of the electronegative or small size, it has a tendency to pull the electron to which it combine. Whatever the metal it combine, it pull the electron, and here nitrogen behave as electronegative element. That's why here the oxidation state of this one is taken as -3. Example here we can take, that is calcium nitride, that is Ca3N2, calcium phosphide, that is Ca3P2, and sodium arsenide, that is Na3As2. Then we can take zinc antimonide, that is Zn3Sb2, and magnesium bismuthide, that is Mg3Bi2. So here these are going to show negative valency. Why? Because they are having small size, and at that time they behave as non-metal. But whenever we are talking about the bismuth is a metal, but here the combination takes place, because if we are comparing the size of this one, so it is smaller than that of magnesium. So here they all are going to form covalent bond. So these are all about our general introduction of the element of group 15, but here we have to mostly we will have to focus on the compounds of elements of this group, that they form what type of compound on, and how we are going to prepare this type of compound into the laboratory, and commercially how we people can prepare this, that we will discuss later in the next class. For today we have this much students. These are the simple introduction, but still if you will be getting any doubt, then please contact me. I will help you anytime whenever you need. Thank you so much for hearing me. Thank you.